Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Gifted Since 92, giving you guys the latest and exclusive content on new music, entertainment news, and inspirational quotes by me, the Queen's back. Alright, I've been wanting to make this video for a while, so I've been thinking about creatively new ideas how to expand my channel. And since I love talking about music, I just want to talk about, even with these artists right now making music, and there are some dope artists out right now that are making music. I have even mentioned them, a few of them, in my previous videos. R&B, hip-hop, alternative, pop, rock, different artists, different walks of life. And as we are closing 2020, I also, got inspired by other people talking about how music right now, it's okay, but the soul isn't, we don't really hear a lot of like creativity in the music, platforms nowadays. Even on radio, I mean, you'll hear like really dope, talented artists here and there making good music. But then back in the day, as I reminisce, I said the era that I grew up on, like the early 2000s, most of these artists during my era, they made really, really good music. Different artists, different styles, unique, putting out different records, having that versatility. So it seems like now, not just now, I noticed in the past, I would say 20 years, music has steadily, but it has gradually gotten to the point of being more generic, gimmicky, lack of substance. Artists are sounding the same, don't really have an identity. And I know nowadays, it's really rare to find across artists that actually got the it factor and have the talent. But I'm just saying, I will be blunt, and be very honest, because like I said, I do believe that artists, every artist is unique. He or she is unique. They are unique. But when it comes to that soul and bringing back that really good vibe and sound of music, it's missing today. Now, I'm not saying that, good music isn't playing on the radio or good music isn't out there. Yes, there is. But I feel like it should be more promoted more. Because really, in my honest opinion, let me take on in the rap and hip-hop field. Now, in the genre of rap and hip-hop, we have, like, the list goes on with the talented lyrical MC rappers. Female rappers and male rappers combined, right? So, now, 2020, and even before that couple years, mumble rap has taken over. Mumble rap has really definitely taken over. I don't like the mumble rap. I mean, it's cool here and there, but as time went on, that's all we've been hearing. A lot of mumble rap, a lot of dumbed down lyrics, lack of creativity, lack of substance, and the production sounds the same. Notice how every mumble rap song that's been put out, it's the same thing, the same pattern, the same topic, the same lyrics, the same content. And really, it's like, well, Dad, if I heard a mumble rap saying about the same thing over and over, and if I hear another mumble rap song saying about the same thing, oh, well, guess what? It gets boring, it gets tired, and it gets redundant. And even the trap music, it's been filled with so much of that auto-tune and mumble rap trap, to the point where, and even like I said, I'm a hip-hop head. I love hip-hop music. I have my favorite rappers that I grew up with, period, because I know the sound, I know like the creativity, I know the soul, I know the changing the narrative, the redefining the sound, the message, and having a little bit of everything, the versatility. That's what's missing in hip hop and R&B right now. Well, let me scratch that R&B out the way. Hip hop is missing that, mostly in mainstream. But there are some talented hip hop artists that are underground, even the ones that they have gotten into mainstream, and their music and sound has spoken for itself, and they got the right team, the right support, and the loyal fan base, and that's such a blessing. There have been, like, even throughout the years, talented, very gifted hip hop rappers and MCs and lyricism, and they have their own creativity and flow and style, and everyone sounds unique and different, and they can actually rap, they can actually produce, they are songwriters, so they really put in that work and that time and effort and creativity. So they are still out there, they do exist, but I would like to see more of them win. The reason why is like, really, I have tried to get into like listen to other rappers, and some of them, they're pretty talented. They're talented, but the issue is I'm seeing the same repetitive, redundant stuff, and I'm concerned because, like I said, it has happened before. It can happen to anyone, because as we talk about music changing and redefining and the evolution and actually the new shift of music approaching years down the line, I would say in the next 10 years it's going to change. I mean, and I know, this is my honest opinion, I believe mumble and that mumble rap is not going to be as like popular as it is now, because in the next 10 years I believe there will be a new sound coming in, and I believe that it will be like a new direction of music. And even as far as I'm concerned, even some of like the current rappers that actually have that talent and actually have been doing their thing, they'll be able to really follow through pursuit in the shift of music. Also, even the underground rappers that, like I said, they're under the radar, I believe that there's going to be some dope, talented rappers coming out of the woodworks. They're going to be swinging out the gates, they're going to be flying, they're going to be coming through, because I feel like when it comes to music and longevity, that's what it's about. Because some of the artists, some of them they got it, and some of them they just lack substance. And I'm not going to blame these artists, because I'm an artist myself. I know how it is to find your lane. I know how it is to, challenge yourself, try to do something different. But some of these artists, they need more artist development. They need more direction. They just lack the ability to be versatile. And especially with the music content, it's the same thing. It's toxic. It's not empowering. I know there have been some debates about people with certain records that they have put out, and some people that like it, which is cool. You have the right to like a song. But some people who don't like it, it's the same thing. You have the right not to like a song. And the huge debate is like, well, this record isn't as empowering, or this record shouldn't be, it's not appropriate for kids to listen to. Now let me tell you something. I believe parents have the power to allow their children to listen to what is appropriate for them, because really, in my honest opinion, today's music is garbage. Majority of the music is garbage. It is garbage, okay? And I really think that, especially with these young kids, they need to hear more of like that positive, and they do need to hear more like something that has that conscious and that versatility, but it's not like so degrading. Because really, the lyrics, the trash, and even all that, we just want something different. I think people are starting to really realize and say, you know what, we need something different. We need something fresh. We need something like fresh, like just something that's so innovative that hasn't been done before in music. There are plenty of like dope, talented artists that they're able to really take every aspect of their life and put it into their perspective and be relatable. Because when it comes to real talent, I came from an era of real talent. You couldn't be mediocre. You couldn't, and especially when people have said, well, especially with the music industry, it's the music business, and people, like I said, they experience this in the music industry where it's like a certain way, a certain look, a certain style that you have to be in order to thrive. Where back in the day, you could be anything as long as you had the right team, as long as you have the quality of music, as long as you know your worth as an artist, stay consistent, stay out of trouble, you can really make it happen. You can make your music pop. And I believe that, like I said, the question is, these artists that we're hearing right now, do they have what it takes to have longevity? Now here's the thing, we can have an open discussion. I'm here for different opinions. I'm here for that, because I do like to read my followers and subscribers comments on how they feel about music today and who they listen to, and also get a different perspective and more of an open mind, because really for me it's like this. I have seen how, and it has happened with, especially with talented artists, that they had the talent, but unfortunately because of how things in the music industry, it takes a left turn. Some of them became one-hit wonders. Some of them, they just quit music. And even recently there has been a situation where some artists, they have really have seen, I would say, things that affected their music career. People didn't really support them or barely support them. They have put out music, they've been in the music business for like 10 years or over. They have seen how other artists have gotten support, other artists have gotten like the the big budget and promotion and marketing, but for them, they haven't gotten the same thing. And it brings them into a place of like disappointment, and feeling like there's not really a genuine, there's not really like a appreciation of who they are as an artist, and the record label doesn't care for them or screws them over. I even have addressed that in my previous videos about even my favorite artists, how they had to really take control of their music careers and how they had to really revamp. And in life, you're gonna, like I said, it's okay to start over. It's not the end of the world, but it's like, it's trial and error and it's experience. But I really do enjoy that for the artists that I've supported through thick and thin. They're still making good music. They got their own independent record labels. They're able to really create a sound and find their niche, and really don't be afraid to push the barriers of music. So my thing is, for these current artists, they should take into consideration, to have longevity, you just have to stay consistent and also experiment with different sounds of your music, experiment with different productions and styles. And this has been, I would say, been bothering me for a while, even with these music producers. Now we know like the really dope creative music producers, like they got like the versatility, they have a really good ear of music. Like any artist that they work with, they can really bring in that magic and have that genuine chemistry with the artists that they work with. And it's such a rare thing, and it's a great thing, because you got some of these producers, even the mainstream ones, before they were underground, before they were finding themselves and they were like creating, always coming up with different ideas, but they were thinking like, okay, we just want to make music, always trying to just be more like that revolutionary sound. Whereas a producer, and I know as a music producer, I'm not a music producer, but I'm saying, like, when I hear the stories of my favorite music producers who have helped artists, who have wrote hits for artists, who have created records for artists and helped them out with their careers, and they were genuine, they came from a place of like respect. It was like, for them, they was like, yeah, at first people didn't know who I was, I was just underground independent, but then when I started getting myself out there, getting opportunities to work with artists, that I felt a connection, that we were able to make music together. It felt right. And that's why I feel like even more talented producers, even more of the underground independent music producers, because I know there are some really dope underground talented producers that can help these artists and really also help other independent artists, underground artists, to get themselves out there too. Because really, I understand this climate of music right now. The music is more hip-hop right now, is more hip-hop, nostalgia, pop, and it has more of like that mumble trap, which that's the style, that's the in style. But I feel like the new wave of music should be able to like come through as well. It could be a balance where it's like you got some artists, even trying to find themselves. I think they definitely should look into consideration working with different music producers to see, you know, especially like the ones that got like that real A+ production. They can really turn things up. They can shake things up no matter where they're from. Also, I feel like, you know, even listening to people's opinions about, you know, even when it comes to music, it's subjective, but I really do like how people say, you know what, you know, we really want, you know, artists to really win more, especially the talented ones, and I do agree. And it's like this, you know, I try to stay consistent listening to different, you know, artists, and that's why I'm like, oh wow, like even EPs that I haven't heard before or artists that I haven't heard before, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, let me check their music out, and I'm like, whoa, this artist is really dope. So even when it comes to that, as a music lover, I just go by, as long as an artist is creative and has that quality, has a unique sound, you're getting my support, period. And I feel like, you know, even as time goes on, you know, I really want these artists right now, even the ones that have really, you know, so far they have successful music careers, and you know, like I said, even in the R&B world, there's some really dope R&B artists that really are carving out their own lane and really have their uniqueness. And you know, when it comes to R&B, that's another topic too. Like, people always love to talk about R&B music, how it has, you know, progressed, it has really evolved, and even like I said, you know, people are starting to warm up to the new sound. And this is a thing too. I feel like people can appreciate the sounds of music that they grew up with, or the artists that they grew up with, but also I have noticed too that some critics have criticized some of these new artists to the point where it's like some of them be like, well, you know, the R&B music that they make is not the R&B music that I grew up with. But really, my thing is, R&B music is R&B music. It's going to change. It's not going to stay the same. You know, it's going to always evolve. I think that, in my honest, humble opinion, these R&B artists, they're finding themselves, and also they're pretty much creating their own sound in R&B, but it has that quality, and even has that soul and rhythm and blues. And this is what I've noticed, even there are more R&B artists, they're tapping into like that rhythm and blues and that traditional R&B. I grew up with the traditional R&B and more of like that R&B soul and hip-hop sound, and some of these R&B artists that are very talented, they are bringing it back, and they make it very, you know, they pretty much, like, the music is so good to the point where it's like, wow. So my thing is, for these new R&B artists, they pretty much are paving the way for their generation, just like the older generation paved the way for them. So the cycle continues. So my thing is, hey, you make good music, I don't care what genre, that's all that matters. Let's see what I should talk about. Oh, even with the state of, I would say, fans. Now, I know how it is being a fan because I have experienced it, and I reminisce and I go back, you know, listen to like my favorite artists' music. I'm like, wow, you know, they have come a long way. Now, I think that some people, when it comes to certain artists, they're biased at times because they feel like, yeah, they have a talent, but are they able to really connect with their audience? And sometimes it could be a sticky situation because it gets to a point where that, especially with how music is changing right now, I think that music should be able to make a statement. It shouldn't be just about one thing. It should be about everything. And even with fans, I always say this, just buy the music, you know. And it has gotten too much to like the stan culture wars, to the fans and stans wars, and you know, I'm getting pretty much over it. I'm almost 30 years old. I've never considered myself a stan. I've always considered myself a fan of my favorite artists. But you have some fans and stans. You know, it's okay to support your favorite artist, but it has been some biasness where, because someone's fave is popular than someone else's fave, or people feel like some artists, they don't have that level of popularity or that level of that real captivation of like the audience of the music, that their music don't matter, their artistry doesn't matter. HELL, no, that's not the case, because I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm not here to hurt people's feelings, I don't do that, but I have to be honest. Even some of these artists that I used to listen to, they made good music before, but as time went on, the music started to shift into more of that mainstream, which is fine, but they lost the soul and the ingredient of being more, just having the ability to like balance their artistry. Because I know some people have said certain artists are like overrated and some artists are overhyped, and you know, I definitely do agree in some ways, but I also think that, you know, especially with mainstream now, it's like, I feel like it's kind of like everyone has to be, I want to just make a, I just want to say the right word, because I don't want to, it's like everyone is in like that popular crowd, everyone is in like that, you know, they're in that group of people. But it's all good, because at the end of the day, you know, everyone is doing their thing in music. But I feel like for artists that actually have that it factor and have that talent, they should be able to be standing out on their own 2 feet, because not everyone is going to be a certain kind of artist like everyone else. It's just not going to work. You know, people can't expect for these artists to just be they can't be, it's like some fans are toxic to the point where I've seen how some fans like, well, this person isn't on so-and-so's level, or this person is not making the kind of music to gravitate towards the audience. But I'm like, music should be different, creative. Music should have more of like that chameleon style. And even when I said about some of my favorite artists, like even when they was on a record label, before they were independent, they had their own sound, they had their own direction. But when they got on the record label, you know, the record label wanted to market them as more of like that mainstream appeal, and strip away from their artistic and their art, their creativity, and strip them away of being more in the creative process of making music. So with that being said, I feel like this is why it's so important for these artists, especially, you know, very talented, gifted artists. Find your sound, work hard, have integrity, produce, write, create, explore different sounds in the production, and, you know, stay true to yourself, stay consistent, keep putting out music, and you'll be good to go. You'll get opportunities that is the right way, and you'll get yourself out there, because like I said, I do see it happening within the next 10 years. It's going to change, and it may be before 10 years, it might happen in the next 5 years, it might happen in the next 8 years, I don't know, but I know somewhere between that gap it's going to change. And I don't think today's music will sound like in the next 10 years. It's going to be different, it's going to be unique, so I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I just feel like I want to do this video because, you know, like I said, you know, I just want people to just, you know, let's have a conversation about, do you guys think that some artists have what it takes to have longevity? I do, you know, because I feel like it's pretty much a double-edged sword, but we can have a good conversation, and also talk to me about how you guys feel about, you know, your favorite artists, and, you know, what do you expect for them musically in the future. So also I'm going to read this quote by the talented and legendary and iconic Prince. His quote says, "The key to longevity is to learn every aspect of music that you can." Prince said that, he did that, the legend has spoken, and that's what this video, that wraps up my conclusion, my thoughts of this video. So guys, please share your thoughts and your opinions. Stay tuned in the next episode. Give us this night too. Like, share, comment, and subscribe down below. hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, and as always, stay tuned on the next episode of Gibson's 92 Dragon Ball Z Narrative Records. Peace, bye-bye, you guys, acting out. This Super Saiyan is out.